Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn, where we are going to be discussing credit scores, one of the more popular topics that I present on. I'm Kurt Halverson, the Community Education Coordinator for HomeTown Credit Union, and my role with the credit union is teaching people about money topics, whether that be savings, credit, scams, all sorts of things like that. And I work in group settings through Lunch and Learns, and I help people one-on-one to coach them and help them out with different financial scenarios. So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about because there are so many misconceptions about credit scores, and credit scores can have such a big impact on our lives. They can, of course, affect what we have to pay for interest rates when we borrow money, but they can also impact things like what we pay for auto insurance rates and a variety of other things as well. So we're going to dive in and we're going to watch a recorded video I had done about credit scores that talks about the details on that. And afterwards, we'll have some time where we can answer questions. So if you think of any questions between now and then, feel free to chat them in. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to roll into this video here.
Hello, my name is Kurt Halverson with HomeTown Credit Union. Today we're going to be talking about credit scores. What exactly is a credit score? A credit score is a number based off your credit history used to determine risk. In this instance, what they're looking at is what's the risk in borrowing money to somebody. If somebody's demonstrated an excellent credit history, they've borrowed money in the past, paid it back on time, they're going to get a great credit score, which denotes that there's low risk in borrowing money to them. If somebody's encountered some financial difficulties where maybe they have made many late payments or they haven't paid back all the money that's been owed, their score is going to be lower to denote that it's a higher risk. Credit scores were developed as a way to get a quick glimpse of somebody's credit history instead of digging all the way through a credit report and filtering through all the information. So it's an additional tool to go along with a credit report to determine somebody's credit history. What can a credit score be used for? It can be used to qualify you to borrow money. That's one of the most prominent uses that credit scores are used for. So you go to apply for a loan, whether it be a car loan or a home loan or a signature loan, something like that, they're going to look at your credit score. That can also set your rates and terms, which means how much are you going to pay in interest. Typically, the better your credit score is, the lower you'll pay in interest, which saves you money. And then it can also provide you other complementary features such as a longer length of loan if you wish, no money down. On a car purchase, you might be able to finance in your tax title and license costs into the loan. And those are things that you might not qualify for if your credit score is lower. How much you pay to borrow money, so again, those interest charges. Insurance premiums, when you go to apply for auto insurance, they look at your credit score, and that's one of the factors that they use in deciding what your rates will be. And ability to qualify for mobile phone plans. And even job offers. Some employers will look at credit reports and credit scores before extending an offer of employment. There are two main types of credit scores. There's a FICO score and a Vantage score. FICO is owned by the Fair Isaac Corporation. They have various scoring models within that, but FICO is a brand that's very popular for credit scores. Most lenders, when they run a person's credit report, they also get a FICO score to go with that, and that's what they're using in their lending decisions. Based off the scoring model that lender uses, scores can range from 300 to 850 or from 250 to 900. There's also the Vantage score, which is owned by the three credit bureaus together. There are various versions. The most recent is the 4.0. Often the model used for free scores. So if you get your free credit score from like Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, or things like that, typically it's the Vantage score that you're receiving, which can be different from the FICO score. And those scores range from 300 to 850. So what goes into creating your FICO score? The biggest piece of the pie in blue is the payment history, which is 35%. So of course that's making payments on time. And if you have late payments, those show up in this area. So what that means is that late payments can really impact your credit score in a negative way. Now, they consider late payments anything that's 30 days late or more. So if you are 5 or 10 days late on a loan payment, you might get charged a late fee, but it's not going to show up on your credit report until it hits that 30-day late mark. Once you hit that 30-day late mark, it will drop your score significantly. The other thing that falls into this piece of the pie is what's called public records related to finance. So that could be bankruptcies, it could be tax liens, it could be unpaid collections, judgments, things like that. Those fall into this category. So again, those can also have a significant impact on your credit score. Late payments are on your credit report for 2 years. Other delinquent or derogatory items stay out there for 7 years with the exception of bankruptcy, which is 10 years. In the red, we have amount owed on revolving debt. So this is credit cards, store charge cards, and lines of credit where they say, okay, here's a limit that you have available to use. You can borrow as much as you wish as long as you make your minimum payments each month, you're good to go. They're saying, okay, so you have a $1,000 credit card. How much are you borrowing against that credit card? If you're at $900, you're getting close to being maxed out, and that's going to drop your score. If your balance is $50, that's going to positively impact your score because you're not using much of that capacity on that credit card. The rule of thumb is actually 30%. Your balance should be 30% of your limit or less to positively impact your credit score. Once you cross that 30% threshold, your credit score starts to decrease, and the closer your balance gets to the limit, the more it hurts your score. In the lime green section of the pie, we have length of new credit and total credit history. So how long have you had your newest credit line on your credit report? So if you opened a credit card 6 months ago and that's your last thing that you've opened for a loan, that's going to be your newest item. Typically, they like to see some time behind you. If you open a lot of new debt in a short period of time, that can throw up red flags, which can decrease your credit score. And they're also looking at what's the total length of your credit history combined. Have you been a borrower for just a couple of years or for a couple decades? The longer you've been a borrower, the better your score will be. In purple, they're looking at accumulation of debt. So again, are you taking on a lot of debt in a short period of time? That's a warning flag. And in the blue, they're looking at mix of credit. Do you have installment debt? And you have what's called revolving debt. So installment debt's like a car loan where you make your payment each month and by a certain date it's paid off and done. Revolving debt is like those credit cards that we've talked about. Vantage scores are scored just a little bit differently. You'll see that the blue is quite a bit bigger on this piece of the pie, and that is those payment histories. So again, making your payments on time is absolutely crucial. Red is where they put the depth of credit. So how long have you been a borrower and how many loans have you had? Have you really built up that history? In the green section, that's where we're seeing the credit utilization. So again, how much are you borrowing against credit cards compared to what your balance is? Don't forget this also includes store charge cards and this includes unsecured lines of credit. In purple, we have balances. So again, how much do you owe to different companies? Blue is recent credit, so what's new on your credit report? And orange is available credit. How much do you have to use? Okay, tips for improving your credit score, no matter whether it's a FICO score or a Vantage score. Making your payments on time is absolutely critical. I just can't stress enough how important it is to have those on-time payments. Watch your credit card balances to make sure you're keeping them low compared to what your limits are. If there are any derogatory items out there, such as unpaid collections, you'll want to address those, try to work out a plan. And then also have patience because it does take time to build that credit history. So be sure to check out our other lessons for information on obtaining and reading your credit report. If you need any help or have any questions on credit reports, credit scores, things like that, be sure to reach out to me. You can reach me direct at 507-455-6726 or by emailing khalverson@hometowncu.coop. Thank you. Hello, my name is Kurt Halverson with Home.
Okay, so that was our video about credit scores. We also have a couple other videos on the Hometown Credit Union YouTube page that cover a variety of financial topics, including credit. There's an excellent video about how to get your free credit report and also how to read your credit report. Now, these are services I'm happy to help out with. In this time of social distancing, this is something I can do with you over the phone or through a Zoom meeting. But in normal times, we can also meet face-to-face to work on these types of items. My services are always free, and so you just need to reach out to me if you have any questions. So I'm just going to take a look and see if we have any questions here. Let's see. I'm not seeing any in the chat box here. So again, be sure to check out our YouTube page, where you can see our other lunch and learns that we've recorded and our other videos we have available. Reach out to me if there's a topic you'd like to see me present on. I'm always looking for new ideas. And be sure to like and share these videos, as well as our Facebook page, where you can see updates on the exciting things that Hometown Credit Union has going on in our communities. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and take care.